YouTube Nation, Archie here. Um, this is a book is in front of you. Profiles of the Past, published in 1984. And ever since I've been talking to my father about friggin' ghosts, more and more slowly comes out with different things. And I know he has a bunch of books on shit. And he's been going through his books lately. And go figure, himself comes out with a story about last, I don't want to say 5 days ago. I was talking to him about stuff, bringing him to the store, and what does he come out with? He used to do ghost hunting. He claims he never found nothing, but due to the fact that obviously he didn't have the proper equipment, like a camera like of today. Well, I'm sure he didn't video stuff. He wasn't thinking of taking pictures. And I know that for a fact. Because, yeah, the things he said and came out of what he done for ghost hunting, I mean, is something I would do. But you need the special camera. Like today. Today's cameras, like the phone I'm talking off right now, catches things the human eye can't see. And I'm for sure, damn sure, my father's probably caught something or been around something, but I don't know. he's one of them, people that need to see the ghost for it to be real. Not the bangs and knocks that people say and claim they hear. I mean, the orbs are seen through cameras, like what I caught at the old Fort Devens Theater. But like I say, you gotta have the proper equipment, or you're not gonna catch the right thing at the right time. But the noises, I don't know. Knowing my father being an antique, dealer, an appraiser, he can appraise antiques, he can, live an old-fashioned life that he did of looking into the past. He's got a million books of the past. He said where I got the King Philip War book, this book now. Excuse me, I have another Indian book that I'm reading through. Excuse me, I got like 4 books now. This one is very short. I mean, not only does it cover an Indian woman suicide, which this one is real, like the other one I did in Harvard, but it wasn't. But this one in this book is real. And there's a couple stories in here. Not only does a couple stories in here I'm going to do and search. Not only that, this book also gives out little description profiles of people who did and pioneered the Pioneer Valley of throughout Athol and all the way, up till Air, and there's all kinds of people. Ashburnham. It's all right here. It says, illustrate a history of Ashburnham, Gardner, Hubbardston, Templeton, Westminster, Winchendon, all them surrounding towns of Fitchburg. And this is, the people's profiles, short descriptions. But the ones I want to look into, even though all the other ones, go over, we got people that you probably see on the streets and signs. Like, we got a name here, Wyman. Like the Wyman Pond and Wyman Liquors, and he's Alfred Wyman, founder of Westminster crackers. Then there's the White family from Winchendon Industrials. Clark, Wendell P. Clark from Winchendon Benefactor. Levy Haywood, the Gardner Pioneering Industrial. But I wonder why you see a lot of Haywoods out there. And it goes on. I mean, there's some other ones you won't probably know, but they've been in the Gardner and, Winchendon areas. Ashburnham. You got Melvin O. Adams, Ashburnham lawyer, and Partron. So, I mean, there's a lot of things in this book that covers, people that came throughout these towns. Gardner's first mayor, Chester P. Pearson. Probably that's why Pearson Boulevard in Gardner. But, the stories I'm interested in here is this one, Princess Starfire. Legendary Indian maiden of Templeton. Now, who would have known? And they got a rock out there, Princess Rock. The story of this, and as you can see, the shortness of this, the shortness of the story is like this. And it goes that this princess here, it's all illustrated stuff drawn, so it ain't real images, which kind of sucks. But this woman here, supposedly throughout this time in, where's the date? Don't have the date. Well, the date though. Well, whatever. Oh, it was over here. Nope. Well, throughout the time of the 1600s, during that King Philip War time, before the King Philip War, this woman here was one of the beautifulest women out of the Indian tribes at that time. Now this guy here, his name was, is it Chief Big Wolf? I think it's Chief Big Wolf, and he was one of the most powerful Narragansett chiefs. Demanded her for his wife. However, when this princess saw Chief Big Wolf, she did not like the looks of him. And due to her father being a chief, and this guy, demanding her to be his wife, the father just gave the permission. Now she was already in love with someone. And he was a warrior, though. He wasn't a chief. And the father did not approve of it. Would not approve of it. So, her, just like Indian women do back then, her decision was to take her own life. And when she jumped off this rock in Templeton, called Princess Rock, and it's, I gotta find it, and it's along the present Berry Road. So I checked on the Google Maps, and Berry Road is one long frickin' road, and it goes into another damn road. So I got a lot of searching. I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna find it, but yeah, she was in love with this warrior, and her and the warrior went to this rock. And when the people found her, they were searching for her because it was, the day of the marriage was supposed to take place. And when the father went to look for her, all he found was the warrior that loved her and she loved him, and her was dead in his arms at the bottom of the rock. So, the things people do back then, crazy shit. This has to do with the King Philip War, and this is Mary Rawlinson And Indians of the King Philip War kidnapped his family, her and her 3 children. No one died at it, but you can go. I'm not. I might cover this one, but there's a sign that you will see in it when you're going down Route 140 in the Westminster Princeton area towards, you know, and this sign stands there, and this is the release of the captivity of that Mary, the name of just Mary Rawlinson and her 3 children, but one child died being captive to the and this is somewhat what the rock looks like. They drew it. They didn't get actual pictures of it, but one child died of hunger, and she somehow survived, and her other 2 children, and they were released due to the fact that even though the Indians were being cruel to her, it was getting cold, and she just, knew how to do the old, stitching and sewing and stuff like that, with yarn and stuff. To put it in our terms, like to make a yarn blanket or, shoes or slippers that some grandmothers, if you have one, does. And she made them for the Indians, and they, eventually gave heart and let her go for helping them. But that sign still stands to this day, and obviously, and so does the rock. But let's go. Yeah, and it's Redemption Rock Road, and that's over on 140 in the Westminster, Princeton lines. But everything else is about how pioneers built their houses, died, built their, factories and churches, and, they lived well lives, nothing serious, just all that. And go through a quick thing here. But another one I want to get to that I'm real interested in, and as you can see, they also got statues and stuff handed to them. The one I'm looking for, not only the Indian woman, which I'm going to try and get there at night. Now here's something to be looking into right here. I'd like to mention this one. The Library of Congress, Levy Warner. And he lived on Depot Road in Westminster, Mass., but he made these doors in the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. Which ain't a great friggin' illustration of it, but, you got I think it's a native tribe up here, and the Englishmen, but something else carved in, but I can just imagine what them doors look like. But yeah, this is a very interesting book, and it is very short, and there's some women in here too, did some pioneering of their own. But where I want to go is right here. This might be my first stop in Templeton, and it is the Witch of Templeton. In this story, she lived, and I gotta try and figure out, I don't know if I'm gonna get the accurate goddamn address, but it is the foundation of what claimed to be her home intact, which was the I'm sure it was just a stone around the bottom of the house, but was later destroyed with the construction of Route 2. So, I mean, there was a house on the side of Route 2 off of Baldwinville Road. So I gotta be at the end of Baldwinville Road in about a mile north of Baptist Common. So I gotta find this. And Route 2 destroyed the existing foundation of the house. But I did a little bit of work and getting out there and looking, I might be able to find it. Because it shouldn't be too far off from Route 2. I mean, if anything, it should be like in between the road and the ground off to the side, you know. But second, can she shed 3 tears? Somewhere on her body was the devil's mark, a small blue spot on the skin that was insensitive to pain. So she had some marking on her that was, the blue dot. I have to look that up. If anybody else wants to look it up. And it was, and she was supposedly credited with the ability to change humans into any kind of beast. And one of her most potent of her powers was an evil eye, which she could inflict any sort of evil, from bringing blight of crops to bedvilling whole communities. I'll look up that word. Like I said, them words I don't use, or you don't see these much these days. Yeah, I don't know them too well, but this is supposed to be an illustration of her. And when she died, they say that there's all kinds of stuff in here, but when she died, they said that they see her flying high in the sky upon broomstick in amazing speeds. At about the same time, her black cat, which could normally be seen perched upon the witch's cabin, vanished. So she lived in a cabin, with a stone foundation. So I don't know what I'm going to be able to find, but I'm going to be looking for this one. Maybe I'll feel the strange vibes of the woman. If she disappeared, maybe she died in her house or something. And just somehow, who knows? You never know about these, but I want to try and find this place. And that's the 2 main ones I'm looking for, is this one in Templeton and the Indian girl. But profiles of the past, I'm sure my father's gonna come out with more fucking books. More stories. Goddamn fucking guy tells me he don't believe in ghosts, but here he is helping me out. Anyways. But yeah, I'm gonna more places to go, to search. And like I said, man, my journey keeps growing, and I'm sure I'm gonna have more to come. Until them next videos, keep you updated. YouTube Nation out.